Hey friends, my name is Z and you're watching Yi Makes It Easy. And welcome to a new video for IGCSE at Maths, and today we have questions only for linear law. And these questions are from PDFCOFFEE, so check it out in the description or check out my website. And if you haven't watched the rules and examples video for linear law, they are also in the description, or you can check it out in my website. And before we get into it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And anyways, let's move on to the first question. Write the equation for the line of best fit for the following graph. There's y and x plotted against x. So we first have to find the gradient, which is represented by m. So m equals 13 minus 3 over 6 minus 0. 13 minus 3 is just 10. And 10 over 6, we can simplify it to become 5 over 3 by dividing both sides, top and bottom, by 2. So we have y equals 5 over 3 x plus c. So we have to find what the c value is, which is basically the y-intercept. And if you notice here, this point right here, the p point has an x coordinate of 0 and the y coordinate of 3. So we know that if when x equals 0, we basically have the y-intercept, because the y-intercept is where it's on the line crosses the y-axis, where x is 0. Therefore, this point right here would just be the y-intercept, which is c equals 3. Therefore, the equation is y equals 5 over 3 from the gradient. Y equals 5 over 3 x plus 3. So if you want to just work it out yourself, you can just substitute this x by 0 and y by 3. And 5 times 3 times by 0 will just become 0. So it will just be y equals 3. In question 2, find the equation for the line of best fit for the following graph. So we have p plotted against q. So as usual, find the gradient. M equals 3 minus 1/2 over 5 minus 2. So 3 minus 1/2 will get us a fraction, because you have to convert 3 into a denominator of 2. So it will be 5 over 2 divided by the 3 from the bottom. So 5 over 2 divided by 3, because there's like a fraction on top of a fraction. We have to switch the bottom fraction out, and I write it up here. And I'll just rub it out later. So it will be 5 over 2 divided by 3, which is basically 5 over 2 times by 1 over 3, which is therefore 5 over 6. So 5 over 6 is the gradient right here. So we have y equals 5 over 6x plus c, where c is a y-intercept. So we have no y-intercept values here straight away, so we have to do some substitution. So we can substitute y by, let's choose the b point, y equals 3, and x equals 5. So it will be down here. 3 equals 5 times 5 over 6, 25 over 6 plus c. And if you minus both sides by 25 over 6, it will be 3 minus 25 over 6 equals c, which is minus 7 over 6. And therefore the final answer for the equation is, that's right here, p equals 5 over 6 for the gradient, q minus 7 over 6. And just ignore all the y and x I wrote here, because it's meant to be p and q. So in this case, this is a y and this is x. Number 3, write the equation for the line of best fit for the following graph. We have this right here, p and q and y plotted against x squared. So let's just substitute this x squared by the big X from linear law that we learned. So this would be the big y2. So find the gradient. It's a negative gradient because it's a negative graph. So it will be 8 minus 2 over 1 minus 3. So 8 minus 2 is 6. 1 minus 3 will get us minus 2, because minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2, which is therefore minus 3. So if you just divide 6 by minus 2, minus 3. So now you have big Y equals minus 3 big X plus C. Substitute x by 1 and y by 8 by using this point right here. So it'll be x equals 1 and y equals 8. It'll be 8 equals minus 3 plus c. And therefore c is 8 plus 3, which is 11. And therefore you have the final answer of y, big Y equals minus 3 big X plus 11. But to convert this into a line of best fit, we'll just substitute the big Y by the original value for Y and the big X by the original value for X. So let's just convert this big Y into right here, Y, and this big X into the original value, which is x squared. Oops. X squared. And that's the final answer. Number 4, write the equation for the line of best fit for the following graph. We have P plotted against V, so P is like the big Y, and V is like big X. So find the gradient as well, it's a negative. So 2 minus 1/2 over 2 minus 3. And if you do 2 minus 1/2, you get 3 over 2, and 3 over 2 divided by minus 1. So it's basically quite simple because minus 1 is just like minus 1. So you don't have to like flip around, just put a negative. So it'll be minus 3 over 2. So that's the gradient. So when you have the equation, when you have the gradient, big Y equals minus 3 over 2 big X plus C. The big Y value, let's set it as 2. And the small y, the big Y value is 2 and the big X value is also 2. So it will be 2 equals minus 3 times 2, the 2 cancel out, so it will be minus 3 plus C, and therefore the C value is 2 plus 3, which is 5. And therefore, let's just write the whole equation out. It will be, use a new color, big Y equals, the gradient is minus 3 over 2x plus 5. And let's just substitute the values for big Y and big X. So big Y is basically big P, just P. So it will be P equals minus 3 over 2 big X. Big X is V. So let's just substitute V plus 15. And then we have some more questions right here. So now we have the diagram below shows the line of best fit obtained by plotting a graph of D against T. So D is at the big Y value, and T is at the big X value. And the line intersects the vertical axis and horizontal axis at these 2 points. So number 1, find the equation of the best fit. So we have to first find the gradient, which is just m equals 2 over 0 over 0 minus 6. This is 2 over minus 6, which is minus 1 over 3. So once you have the gradient, it will be y equals minus 1 over 3 x plus c. We know that the y-intercept is just this point right here because we were given 0 and 2. So the c value is just 2. And therefore the first part to our question is, let's write it in a new color, I equals, big Y is D, so D equals minus 1 over 3 t plus 2. And that's the first part. So the second part, find the value of D when, find the value of t when D equals 3. So it's just quite simple. When you have this original equation, it'll be D equals minus 1 over 3t plus 2, right? So you're trying to find the value of t when D equals 3. So you just set D equals 3 equals minus this plus 2. Just like rearrange the equation to get 1 over 3 t equals minus 1. So just divide both sides by 1 over 3. So the right side will be 1 over 3t divided by 1 over 3, which just cancels out. And the left and the right side is minus 1 divided by 1 over 3, which gets us t equals minus 3. So to rub this out, we have the second part to our answer, which is just t equals minus 3. And the third part to our question, the value of D when t equals 4. So it's just quite straightforward when t equals 4. So basically you just substitute t equals 4 right here. So it will be minus 1 over 3 times by 4 plus 2, which basically just gives us d. So it will be 2 over 3. So d will be 2 over 3. That's the answers for the question. And then we have the diagram below shows the line of best fit as well for the right hand side question. From the graph, find the value of t when w equals 38 and the value of w when t equals 1.6. So when it says show like from the graph, like use the graph to find, we'll just use the graph because it's much easier to see. So let's zoom in. Find the value of t when w equals 38. So you notice that the axes are already labeled w and t, so that's convenient for us. So the value of t when w equals 38. We have to find the place where w equals 38, which is this point right here, because it goes up by a scale of 2, like 32, 36, 38, 32, 34, 36, 38. So it'll be here. Let's just draw a straight line. Alright. Which is right here. This point. Let's just zoom in. Make it like smaller. Yeah, here. This point right here. And if we zoom down here, you get a value of approximately here. When w equals 38, t would be at around 3.2, 3.4, 3.6, 3.7, around 3.7. So let's just write it here. When w equals 38, t would be 3.7. That's the first part. So the second part, where you're trying to find the value of w when t equals 1.6. So 1.6 will be 2, 4, 6 right here. 1.6, you just draw it up a straight line. You'll be here. And then what you have to see the corresponding w value, or like the y to the y like y intercept. So it'll be here, which is just quite a whole number. Oops, it's a bit. Let's just redraw it from here, like so. So as you can clearly see, when t equals 1.6, w will be 22. So therefore, let's just write it out. When t equals 1.6, therefore w will be 22. And that's the answer. And then we have some more questions. The diagram below shows the line of best fit for the graph xy against x. Determine the relation between y and x. So let's just substitute this xy by big Y and this x by this big X. So to find the gradient, you just get 12 minus 4 over 4 minus 2. So 12 minus 4 is 8 and 4 over 2 is 2. Sorry, 4 minus 2 is 2. So it will just be 4. Because if you divide 8 by 2, you get 4. So that's a gradient. So find the y-intercept. Big Y equals 4 big X plus C, where let's set big X as 2 and big Y equals 4. So it will be 4 equals 8 plus C, and therefore C is minus 4, because minus 8 plus 4 is minus 4, like so. And therefore if you substitute all of it in, let's just rub this top out, X, it will be big Y equals 4 X minus 4. So we now have to substitute the values for big Y and big X back into the equation. So big Y would be xy equals 4x minus 4. So it says determine the relation between y and x, so I'll just set y, so I'll just like make y the subject so that we can clearly see the relationship between y and x. Therefore dividing everything by x, it will be y equals 4x minus 4 divided by x. So we can make it clearer by factorizing the 4 actually. So it will be 4x minus 1 and x. Like this. It's the same thing anyway. And then on the right, the diagram below shows a straight line of xy plotted against x. So this is big Y and this is big X. Express y in terms of x. So I'll just find the gradient as well. M equals 10 minus 1 over 4 minus 1. 10 minus 1 is 9 and 4 minus 1 is 3, so it will be 3 as a gradient. So to find the y-intercept, big Y equals 3 big X plus C. So let's set big X as 1 and big Y as 1. So it'll be 1 equals 3 plus C, and therefore C equals minus 3 plus 1, which is minus 2. Right here. And just rewrite the equation to get big Y equals 3x minus 2. And let's just substitute the values for big Y and big X into the equation, which gets us xy equals 3x minus 2. So basically it says express y in terms of x, which is what we did on the left hand side right here. So we'll just divide everything by x to get y equals 3x minus 2 divided by x. And lastly, moving on, we have some last questions. And the diagram below shows a straight line of log y against x. The variable x and y are related by the equation y equals ab to the power of x, while a and b are constants. Find the value of a and b. So what we have to do first is that we have to turn this non-linear equation into a linear equation. So y equals ab to the power of x. So we basically have a guide already where you can see here, this is the value of the big Y. We have to somehow manipulate this equation to get a big Y value of log base 10 and y, and the y and the x value of x. So you can just take a log of both sides, like take the log of both sides. So it will be log base 10 is basically LG log, and this like so. And using the log formula, log like rules, we can just split this log into two different logs to become log base 10 and a plus log b to the power of x. And using the log rule, we can pull this power down to the front to get us log y equals, let's just rewrite this to put like this in front. It'll be x log b plus log a. And if we rewrite the equation to show the form of y equals mx plus c, we can just write it on top here. And the equation that we have is log y equals log b x plus log a. And that's the equation that we have to know for this question, because we can clearly see that this is y big Y equals m big X plus c right here. So we have the value of, we have 2 points, which is basically means we need to find the gradient. So the gradient is 7 minus 1 over 3 minus 0. 7 minus 1 is 6 over 3, which is 2. So the gradient is 2. And that's an important thing to note. Oops, let's not rub it out. Gradient is 2. So the new equation will be y equals 2x plus c if you just use the big Y and big X. So to find the y-intercept or the c value, you just substitute like something like coordinate in. But from this here, we know that the y-intercept is already 1 because it's given us. So y equals 2x plus 1 basically, like so. So if we look into the original equation, we can see how the values relate. Log b is the m, which is the gradient, which is 2. And log a is the c or the y-intercept, which is 1. So we can compare these values. So we know that log b is the gradient, which is 2. And we know that log a is the y-intercept, which is 1. So if you undo the logarithmic equation, we can get a value of 10 to the power of 2 equals b. And this, you get 10 to the power of 1 equals a. Or the small a, not the big a. You can just ignore these two, you can just ignore these two because it's not really relevant. It's just there for me to tell you that what the values represent. So you basically have the answer. So to write in a new color, so number 1, a is just 10 to the power of 1, which is 10. And for 2, b is 10 to the power of 2, which is 100. right here. And lastly, we have the variable x and y are related by the equation y equals kx to the power 4, where k is a constant. Convert the equation y equals this into a linear form. So it's just really similar to the one just now, because we already have the like the log. We already have the y and the big y value and the big x value. So it will be y equals kx to the power 4. Take the log of both sides, it will be log y equals log k plus log x to the power 4. You drag the 4 down, so it will be log y equals 4 log x plus log k. So it will be y equals mx plus c. So we do have the y and the x. So let's just rewrite this equation. So for a, we have log y equals 4 log x plus log k for the linear equation. It's a linear form because this is y equals mx plus c. And it's number 1. So for b, the diagram below shows the straight line obtained by plotting a graph of log base 10y against log base 10x. So to find the value of log base 10 k and h. So we know that log base 10 k is just this value right here, because lg is the same as log, because we know that lg is the same as log base 10. So we know straight away that this point right here shows us the y-intercept, because when x equals 0, it means the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is basically 3. So it's like c equals 3, this point right here. And we know that log base 10 k is the y-intercept. That means that we know straight away that log base 10 k is equal to 3. So log base 10 k equals 3. And for bii, number 2, find the value of h. So it's a bit more complicated because maybe you're not sure what to do. But from you can see here, we already have the value for the gradient, which is basically 4. So when we have the gradient, we know that we need 2 points together to form the gradient, right? We have 2 points right here with an unknown, and the unknown is the one that we're trying to find. So it will be the gradient is 4, which is, using these 2 coordinates right here, it will be h minus 3 over 2 minus 0 basically. So to rearrange the equation, it will be 8 equals h minus 3 plus both sides by 3, it will be 11 equals h. And that's basically the value for h, which is the y value for this coordinate right here. And therefore, the value for h is just 11. Therefore, h equals 11. And these are the final answers. Let's just rub this out so that it's clearer. So log k plus c. And these are the answers. And that's it for this question only for linear law, and I hope you'll find it useful and helpful. And if you did, please leave a like and subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you have any comments or constructive feedbacks about my channel or my videos or my websites, just shout it off in the comment section and I'll reply to them. And check my social media in the description, for example LinkedIn or Instagram. And check out my website in the description for more like teaching resources or learning resources or lesson slides. Or you can type it out in your browser at www.MakesItEasy.com. And I hope you'll find it useful and helpful, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will be rules and examples for functions. And until then, stay safe and happy learning.